Morning everyone, it's Robert again with another video on the new shop build. For anybody just tuning in, I'm building a new shop for my woodworking. I'm going from a 7.5 by 13 bus to a 10 by 18 single pitch roof shop. So go check out the other videos if you're interested. Today we're going to be installing one of the two doors. So you see me standing in the door frame here. So my plan for the doors is on this side I'm going to have a standard man door. I believe it's a 32, but let me check. Okay, so it's actually a 36-inch standard man door, which is perfect. And then on this side of the door frame, I'm going to have a pseudo French door. So what I'm going to build is like a barn door that's going to swing outwards. This one swings inwards, this one's going to swing outwards. And 99% of the time it's going to be locked, barred off, and used as the door jamb for the man door. And it's going to be used for those rare times I need more than 36 inches of door space to bring a project in and out if it's just easier for me to do. Like for example, when I start bringing tools into the shop, I'm going to want to open up the 5-foot door to get the table saw in here, just because the table saw is so big and awkward. It'll be easier if I got more room to work. And then in the summertime, if I get back into making Adirondack chairs and stuff like that, I'll be able to open this up fully to get Adirondack chairs, lawn furniture, stuff like that. Or if I want to do bed frames or just big projects, I found the door in the bus was way too limiting. So because I'm using the I'm having a swinging door jamb. I'm not using a standard door frame, and it's a shop. It's not a fine house. It doesn't need to have perfection going on here. So I'm just screwing the door frame directly to the jack stud in the doorway. I'm using two industrial self-closing hinges. I don't know how well you see this on camera, but they auto-close. The bottom one really doesn't pick. The top one's a bit loose. That's fine for what I'm using it for. It just makes sure that the door doesn't stay wide open without latching. So I don't have a ton of swing room. I think at the end I may have to cut a little bit off this door. For now, I'm gonna use a pry bar just to lift the door up a tiny bit and get it screwed in place. And then I can measure for this side because I know it should be about 2 feet, but I wanted to make sure that I have the right dimensions. Because these are industrial size hinges, I'm going to be using number 12 by 2.5 or number 12 by 2 screws. I just need a little bit extra. Alright guys, so door's a bit too tight, I think. While I want a door that's gonna seat in pretty good, it's a little too tight for that. But you kind of get the idea of having the separate door frame now. So I'm gonna take the door off and cut a little bit off the bottom, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so I got a straight edge set up on the door. These doors are metal, but it's a really thin casing of metal. And for that, I'm going to try using a carbide tip blade in my circular saw. It's actually the one that originally came with my rigid cordless circular saw. It's even thinner than the standard thin kerf one. And I consider it a junk blade at this point, so I'm not worried if I wreck it. The door's like 1.5 inches thick, so I'm going to set it to 2 inches just to make sure I go through. From my base plate to the edge of the blade is 5 inches, and I want to take 3/4 of an inch off. And the reason I want to take that much off is I still have yet to put the 1/2 inch floor down, and that gives me a little bit more clearance. So I'll take off 3/4 of an inch, and we'll see how it goes. This might get very noisy, guys, so wear here to perfection if you want to try this. All right, so we didn't take any teeth off the blade. That cut incredibly cleanly, all things considered. So now, take my little clamps off, straight edge off, and we get the door remounted. If you want to try doing this with your door, I do recommend a full face shield over just standard eye protection, as well as probably wearing some leather gloves. These little metal shards are a little bit hot, and they kind of flick everywhere. Surprisingly, I didn't get too many on me. One or two on my hand, and for how small they were, they didn't burn me. But your mileage may vary in this particular case. So I'll just use some 3/4 common board that I already have a bunch of scraps for, and that'll lift my door up the required 3/4 of an inch difference that I've now put in it. Just make it a little easier to put the door back on. And that's exactly why I didn't drive all 4 screws in at once. I knew it would be a fitment thing. All right, so even that 3/4 is only a little bit more than 3/4. So having 1 inch. Amen. Oh, that's 1.5. Okay, the crowbar go. So let's just use my crowbar to help lift it up a little bit. That almost gets it to where I want it. So I should be able to drive the screw in and sink her home. Okay, that one's in. So we get our milk crate going down here again and get the bottom in. Okay, guys, so now you can see exactly why I wanted to go with them self-closing hinges. Door closes completely on its own. So let's double check our measurements here. So we're at 24 1/4, 24, and 24. So there might be some slight variation in the door itself, why my measurement is 24 1/4, or it could be the walls bowed a little, the stud frames bowed a little bit. But for a shop or a shed, it doesn't matter if it's not dead nuts perfect. And I've always said that because it's not fine furniture. It's not fine house. It's a utilitarian shop. So one of the things I'm gonna have to do when I get this door, when I get the shop a little more set up and paint this door, the outside's not bad. It's just kind of grimy. But they must have used some water-based paint on the back side of it. This was a second-hand purchase door, by the way. I may peel off this, whatever this here is. I kind of like it as a diffuser, but at the same time, I like the open window, so we'll see. So, yeah, that's our man door done. So when I see his next, I'll be doing the side swinging door, and I'll actually be using another set of industrial hinges. It's actually the other pair to these. These came from some salvage of my sister's, and they came off the doors you would find on like auditoriums, arenas, stuff like that, like them big, heavy, 2-inch thick, 300-pound doors that self-close. So instead of using the big bar closer, the hinges are the actual closing mechanism. So there's typically 3 hinges on those doors. The top and bottom would be the self-closing, and the middle one is just a standard heavy-duty hinge. Well, I ended up with 2 of the center ones and only 2 of the outer ones. So being that they were made for very heavy doors, and this is like a 40-pound house door, I'm not worried about having only 2 hinges. And then I'll use the other pair for this door, and I know they'll be strong enough. Otherwise, I could just go out and get some 6-inch strap hinges, because again, this door is going to swing outwards, so it's going to be mounted like a barn door. So what I'll have is a piece of trim coming down the side to bring it out another 3/4 of an inch, and that's where the hinging surface will be. And on the door itself, it'll be framed the exact same way as everything else is. So, hope you liked the video, guys. Hope you found it informative. It's not again, a lot of my videos are not how to so much as how I do. So your mileage may vary. I'm just using the knowledge I've grown up with. So if you want to see more videos, hit that subscribe button. Follow me. Tell me if you liked the video. Tell me if you didn't like the video. I always want to hear constructive criticism. And hope you have a great day, guys.